Does keeping your operational processes running smoothly feel like a challenge as your company grows? We see it all the time with growing companies. In this 5-minute growth tip, I'll share the story of a Winnipeg client who moved from front end operational friction to a structured, scalable system. Contempor Steel Builders is a premier commercial design build contractor based in Winnipeg. Led by CEO and partner George Constantinides, along with his partner and construction manager Jason Garino, the company specializes in steel structure commercial buildings. Contempor takes immense pride in its corporate slogan and reputation: solid building, on time, on budget. However, rapid growth began to strain their internal operations. After working with George and Jason and their management team for a few years, their processes were experiencing natural strain under the pressure of increased volume. The primary challenges were occurring right at the front end of the client experience. The company was finding it difficult to get designs, estimates, and proposals back to clients in a timely fashion. They were sometimes missing proposal dates committed to by sales. The internal time lag between a signed contract and the actual handoff to the construction team was longer than desired. Because their workflow wasn't fully standardized, the amount of duplicated effort in design and estimating was increasing. And George, who was also carrying the weight of being the primary salesperson, found himself heavily involved in the daily mechanics of operations. 4 critical business practices helped address the issue. Number 1, understanding the whole system. To navigate this, the team needed to transition from being time tellers to clock builders, treating their business as an integrated flow of interdependent functions rather than separate departments. Early in our work together, we mapped out their Key Function Flow Map, or KFFM, to visualize exactly how work moved from an initial prospect into the company and down to the job site. As volume grew, this bird's eye view helped to surface that front end delays in pre construction, including sales, design, and estimating, were impacting the downstream construction team, shifting project start dates and delaying in year revenues. Number 2, diagnosing operational systems. At one point, we used the Key Function Flow Map heat map traffic light system to diagnose their primary operational constraints. While the downstream construction team initially showed red, that diagnostic exercise revealed that the core bottleneck was actually a friction point upstream, being pre-construction. Furthermore, as we dug deeper, we discovered a constraint within that constraint. Within the pre-construction process itself, the design department was the ultimate bottleneck. Pushing proposals through with varying procedures was stretching design's capacity and reducing their ability to turn sold jobs into usable drawings for construction. Number 3, process mapping and optimization. I coached the pre-construction team through an exercise to map their current workflow. We quickly discovered that projects were being handled differently. There was no single process being consistently followed. This lack of standardization caused occasional rework, extra touch points with prospects, and delays. Rather than spending time trying to map a variable current process, we immediately hashed out what the standard optimized steps should be. We standardized exactly how work should move through each stage of proposal development. By creating a predictable sequence, the team would be able to balance the workload in design and estimating, ensure more predictable turnaround times, and reduce the time lag between a signed contract and the construction handoff. Number 4, employee-involved change leadership. Optimizing processes can never be a top-down exercise. Originally, George considered asking his new salesperson to design a sales process to present to the managers. I counseled him instead to actively involve his pre-construction team from the start, because people support what they help to create. George and his pre-construction team all fully engaged in the process optimization work. Together, they worked through their varying departmental perspectives, aligned their approaches, and arrived at a standardized pre-construction process they all thoroughly understood, believed in, and were committed to living by. However, transitioning a business towards systematized excellence is a journey, and it often requires course corrections along the way. The team initially created an implementation plan to improve scheduling of design and estimating work to better manage department capacity. However, they initially found it a challenge to execute the scheduling piece due to a skill gap in their pre-construction team. Recognizing this constraint, the company made a strategic pivot. They hired a dedicated pre-construction manager who possessed solid scheduling skills alongside a deep understanding of sales, design, and estimating. This new leader operationalized the process, bringing accountability and scheduling discipline to the system. The result was CEO freedom to scale. By designing a disciplined system, Contempra protected and reinforced its reputation for delivering solid building on time, on budget. To win, however, was also for leadership. George's core goal when we began working together was to get the company operating in a more structured fashion so he could step out of the daily details. Backed by a streamlined process and a strong pre-construction leader, George successfully handed off the front-end coordination. Today, he is finally free to work more on the business while reclaiming personal time to enjoy his family, community involvement, and hobbies. If you want to strengthen your company's processes for scalability, let's talk. Email me or contact me on the Contact Us page. Or look for my next 5-minute growth tip where I'll cover how to take the first step in this effort. If you're a Prairie CEO who wants to grow a thriving company, team, and life more quickly, more easily, and with less stress and headache, please contact me via email or on my website. I hope you found this useful.